Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth section of Flask tutorial. In this section, we're going to see how to integrate database in our app. So there are a lot of choices for databases that we can integrate with our app. So many of them should be integrated as Flask extensions, which will make a better integration with the application. So generally there are two type of databases that follow relational model that is known as SQL, and which does not follow the relational model, which is known as NoSQL. So we are going to see how to work with SQL. So for that, we are going to use SQL Alchemy package. So for structured data handling, SQL-based database is the best match. SQL Alchemy is the Python-based SQL database, which can be integrated as extension in Flask through the package called Flask SQL Alchemy package. So this SQL Alchemy is work as Object Relational Mapper, ORM. So this ORM allows the application to manage a database using high-level entities such as class, object, and methods instead of table. Normally we will use table, right? With the ORM, Object Relational Mapper model, we can manage it as this high-level object-oriented entities. So that's the best thing about this SQL Alchemy. So the job of this object relational mapper is to translate these high-level entities, the classes and object, into database commands. So the SQL Alchemy supports a long list of database engines, including the popular MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQLite. So which is convenient because you can select a model based on the purpose. So if your development needs a small application, then we can use simple SQLite database instead of the heavy database, because SQLite does not require a server. So first let's activate our virtual environment. So once we activate this virtual environment, so we have to install the SQL Alchemy. Okay, so to install SQL Alchemy, that is our database model, I'm going to use the command pip install flask-SQL Alchemy. So that will install the package in our virtual environment, not globally. We are importing all these packages in the virtual environment. So the next thing, so we have our database now. So next thing we have to consider database migration. So what is database migration? It will help us to update an existing database. As the application needs to change or grow, we have to do some updates, right? So this update will be useful if we have proper database migration plan. So for that, we are going to use a package called Flask Migrate, which is a database migration framework which can be used with SQL Alchemy package. So let's install this Flask Migrate in our virtual environment by using this command pip install Flask Migrate. So we have installed. So the next thing that we are going to check is we have to update our code. For the development of small application, as we said, database SQLite will be the best one. So we have to open our config.py to add this SQLite database to handle it. We are going to add SQLite configuration. So for that, first we have to add this command to create a base directory. So first, to handle this, to hold this database, to save this database, we need a base directory. For that, we are creating a variable called base directory variable, and then here we are passing this path and then directory name. So we have to create this variable. After that, we are going to add a variable to handle this location. So for that, we are going to create a variable called SQL. So inside this configuration, inside this class, we are creating another variable called SQL Alchemy Database URI. So what this will do, it takes the location of applications database. The Alchemy takes the application database. That's what we have defined here. So that is our app. We will create a database called app.db in our app application. Okay. So this is the variable. SQL Alchemy database URI is the variable. So normally it is good practice to set a configuration from environment variable and provide a fallback value when the environment does not define that variable. Here, database, the database URL, this one is the environment variable. If this one is not defined, then we need to create a database named app.db, okay, which actually located in the main directory of the application, which is the base directory. So we have already defined the base directory value here. Okay, so this will be located in the base directory, that is our app directory. Okay, so we have defined all this stuff. And the second thing, we have to define another variable to track modification. For that, we are going to specify a variable called SQL Alchemy. So this one, SQL Alchemy track modifications, which needs to be set false. Okay, so this will disable the feature of a Flask SQL Alchemy that we don't need. Okay, so which is like a signal, like that application, every time there is a change, it is about to be made in the database. So for that, we have to set this SQL Alchemy track modification as false. Okay, so the next thing, the database is going to be represented in the application by the database instance, that is instance for the Flask SQL Alchemy. For that, we have to go to our init.py. Here, first we have to import the packages. Okay, so first we have to import the we already have imported the Flask SQL Alchemy, right? So we have to import that package, and then also we have to import this package. Okay, so these two packages we have to import, and then we have to add a data. We have to create a variable. Okay, we have to create an instance. So in the init.py, we have to add a DB object that represents the database, that is the Flask SQL Alchemy, which we have imported here. Okay, so we have to create an instance to hold this. So we are creating an object instant DB. So this DB is going to hold, is an instance of this SQL Alchemy where we are passing our app. So second thing, we have to have another object that represents the migration engine. That is, we have imported Flask migrate. That is this one, right? So we have to create another instance to handle this. So for that, we are going to create another instance called migrate. Migrate, for that, we are passing this. We are calling this migrate. For this, we are passing both our app and then also our DB object. That is this object that we have created. So these are the two inputs for this migrate variable. So let's add this. And then one more thing we have to take care is the models. The new module, we have to add a new module named models that needs to be added in the system, which will define the structure of the database. That is the column and all the information. This whole structure of the database needs to be defined in models.py. So that should be imported into our app along with this roots. So for that, we have to, along with this roots, we are going to import the models, the file we are going to create now. Okay. Let's save this. So next thing that we have to work with like database. So the database will be stored, that all the data will be stored as a ORM, that is object relational mapper. With that database, we are going to save all those things as a collection of classes. Okay. So the ORM, Object Relational Mapper layer, which comes with SQL Alchemy, will do the translations, will take care of the translations, that is the mapping of object to the database table. Okay. So for any database, mostly ID will be the will be used in most of the databases, which will act like a primary key. If we set this ID as a primary key, then it will be automatically created by the database for each row. So for example, if you are going to create a table for user, for each user that we are going to add in the database, a primary key, the ID will be created automatically. Okay. So in this particular case, for the user table, we are going to have the columns like ID, username, email, and password. So let's create a model database structure. For that, we have to create a models.py. Okay, so let's add a new file called models.py, which should be in the main directory level along with the init.py. So for that, we are going to create a file called models.py. Okay, so in this models.py, we are going to add this code. First thing, we have to import datetime package to monitor the update. That is to monitor the migration, all those stuff. We need the internal facility, that is datetime package. For that, we are first importing this datetime package from datetime. So then we are going to import this DB. Okay, we already have imported in our app, we have DB. So we are going to import the DB package. So recall, we have created this DB object, right? So we are going to import that from our package. Okay, so that is the second thing that we are importing for this database. So the third thing is we are going to define a class. So this class is user class. So we are creating a database, the table to handle the user. So for that, we are creating a class called user. This user class has db.model as a base. So this db.model is a base class for all models from which we are creating through Flask SQL Alchemy. So this user class is defined, is created by inheriting this db.model class. This is the base class and this is the class that we are going to inherit. Okay, the user class. Okay, now we are going to define the database, the structure of this database, the user database. So as we have mentioned before, first we have to define the ID, which is the primary key. Okay, for with each row added, this ID will be automatically updated in the database. Okay, so for we are first creating ID. So for that, we are setting the attribute primary key as true. That is, this ID is going to be the primary key. Okay, second thing, we have to set a column, separate column to handle the username. For that, we are creating another variable, and then this variable is going to hold username information. So the variable username and then db.column, which to create the new column, and then we are setting all the attributes. So this attribute, this the fields that we are going to create and save it in the variable for all this database, which is the instance of db.column. Okay, which takes a field type of the data type. For example, here integer data type. The first argument will be the data type of the database, the argument. Okay, whether it is string or integer, that information needs to be passed. That is the first argument for the db.column. And the second one, we are going to set index true and unique true, which will facilitate the efficient searching. Okay, to make searching more efficient, we are setting this index true and unique value as true. So that is for the username. So the next column that we are going to create in our database is to handle the email information. So to hold the email, we are setting a variable called email. So db.column, so the email is going to be string and the maximum length for the email could be 120. For the username, we set 64 as the maximum length, the character, number of character. And then to to initiate the search, okay, to facilitate the search, we have the index and unique as true. The fourth column that we are going to create is password. So the password is kind of different from the username and email. The password needs to be encrypted. Okay, normally all the password information need to be encrypted. So instead of creating a variable called password, we are creating a variable called password hash because we are going to encrypt this. Okay. Okay, so this is our user class. That is, this user table is going to have all these columns. Okay, finally, we have to define this, like define this self. To handle this, we have to define. Okay, so this one, to define it, we are going to return to check it before before processing it. We have to check it by printing the value. Okay, to print the value, we are going to check. This is for just debugging, to check the value what is saved in the database before processing it. First we are checking it. For that we are creating a function, and here we are returning this user. That is, whatever is saved in the database, we are returning this user. So this one is like we are giving a format, in which format we want to print. This represent method tells the Python, this one, it tells the Python how to print the objects of this class. So which is going to be useful for debugging. So here we are printing it as a dictionary. Okay, all the stored database values will be printed as dictionary. So before processing it, we are just printing it to see how it works. Okay. So the next thing is updating the repository. So for that, we are going to create a migration repository. So as the application is going to grow, there is a need in changing the structure. Okay, so like to add new things, to modify or remove items, for all these things, we need to have a solid migration handling. Okay, so Alembic is the migration framework used by Flask Migrate that will make these schema changes in a way that does not require the database to be created from the scratch. Okay, so to accomplish this task, the migration task, Alembic maintains a migration repository, which is a directory in which it stores the migration script. So each time a change is made to the database schema, a migration script is added to the repository with the details of this change. To apply these migrations to a database, these migration scripts are executed in the sequence they were created. That's why we have this datetime package. Okay, so in the same execution sequence, this migration will execute all these scripts. So this Flask migrate exposes its command through Flask command, and to handle this database, we have a db subcommand. So we have to initiate our migration through this command Flask. So this is for our Flask migrate, and db is a subcommand which is added by the Flask migrate to manage everything related to the database migration. So we have to add this Flask command and db subcommand and then initiate. So we have initiated already. I have created this, so it says already initiated. So the next thing, we are going to migrate. We are going to apply the migration. For applying the migration, we are going to add this command Flask db migrate m users table. Okay, so we are going to create a table called users. Okay, so that we are adding. Okay, so we have created the table, users table. Now we have to type upgrade. The upgrade command in SQLite will detect the database, whether the database exists. If there is no such database, then it will create the database. So it seems like for me it is already exists. So it just says the database is ready. Okay, after this command, after this flask db upgrade command, you can see the app db. So in the main file app.db, this file will be created automatically. Okay, so this flask db upgrade will create this database, app.db database. So just make sure after this command in your main directory you have this app.db file added. Okay, so after this we are going to before adding the data, let me explain what is this upgrade and downgrade workflow will do, that we are doing it with Flask migration database. So this Flask db upgrade, this command, like the Alembic, the migration framework which we use through Flask migrate, will make the schema changes in a way that does not require the database to be recreated from the scratch. We have already seen that, right? So this Alembic maintains a migration repository, which is a directory in which it stores the migration script, not the database. It stores the scripts. Each time a change is made to the database schema, a migration script is added to the repository of the Alembic, and with the details of the change and timing with the sequence, all those things will be updated in the Alembic. To apply this migrations to a database, these migration scripts are executed in the sequence that they were added. That will be taken care internally by Alembic. So Alembic can review the script in the production server. And if you move on to the production server, it will review the script and find whether it does not have the latest version. If it has the latest version, that's fine. But if it does not have the latest version, then what it will do, it will run all the new migration script that is done after the previous release. I'm speaking about the production server. Okay. So as the production server will be updated as easily. Okay. Without even knowing, that will be updated automatically by Alembic. So there is another command called flask db downgrade command, which will undo the lost migration, which will be mostly used in the development server environment. For example, if you don't want that change, then you can do flask db downgrade, which this will delete that migration script in the Alembic, in that repository. It will delete that particular script. Okay, so that is the purpose of flask db downgrade. So downgrade will be normally will be done only in the development environment. Okay, now we have to integrate whatever we have done here in our flask app.py. So in our flask app.py, we have to add our models and we have to import the class user. So recall, we have created a user class in our models.py. So now we have to import it from app.models, import this class user. And then here we have to add this content to handle this DB and the user, the database and the user. We have to add all these things in our main file, in the main script, flask.py. We have to integrate our user class from our models, and also we have to integrate this to information. Okay, finally, now we are ready to add all this content. Okay, deploy all this content. Sure, you can run it with the Flask cell. Okay, so we are going to run this database changes with the Flask cell command. For that, you have to type Flask cell. So this should create a Flask cell environment. This is the Flask cell environment, the terminal window environment. So if it doesn't work to you, just make sure that you have this .flask environment. We have done it with the first tutorial, first session. We have created the .flask environment. It should have these variables. So if it has these variables, then it should work to you. Okay. So when you type Flask cell, it should give you this command. So after that, we have to import. First, we have to import our app. Okay, for that, from app, import db. And then also we have to import our user. From app.models, we have to import our user. Okay, after that we are going to add the user in our database. Okay, so for that I'm going to create a variable calling this user class. Okay, the user name and the email address. So I'm just adding these two, this first table, first row, and then after adding this first row, I have to add this session to the database. For that, db.session.add_u. So this will get added to the table. The second session, we have to commit these changes. To commit these changes in the database, we have added it, but to commit these changes, we have to add this command, db.session.commit. Okay, we have to commit these changes. So since already I have added that previous name, because we have set the unique as true, right? So it will not take the already existing value. So I'm just adding a new user value and then adding this user and then committing this change. So let's add one more data in one more row. So let's add one more user in our table. User this time. Cross. Now let's add this into the table by adding this command db.session add. And then we have to commit this change. For that we have to use the command db.session commit. Okay. Now we have added all the tables, all the rows in our table. Now we have to query this. Like if you know the structured query language, how to query that. Query.user.query.all. So this command, we are running this command and we are saving the values of the result of this command in the variable user. Okay. So we are running this command and now we are going to display this result. So recall here the user, we will this one will return all the object, the value result will be displayed here, right? So when we call this the result will be displayed in the format that we have given in our models.py. Okay, so now we are going to print this value which is there in the users. So when you call the users variable, you can see this particular table that we have created, that is the user table that we have created, has this username. Okay, so because we are asking to print only the username here, not the other information. We are just printing the username here. So it is printing all the username in the dictionary format, in this given format. User and that this dictionary is it's going to have this username, Meena. And then here the second one, the user and the username, and the third one along with the user, it will replace the username. So this particular table, user table, right now it has 4 rows and we are just displaying that 4 row information here. So in this session, we have you learned how to work with the database, all the basic concepts about integrating a database into your Flask application. So in the next session, that is the last session of this tutorial, you're going to see how to connect this backend. So you have the strong background here, right? Background information, and then backend here, and then front end. You know how to create the front end. So next we are going to see how to connect this backend with the front end. That means when someone enters the username and password in the login information, how to pull that information from the form, through the form, and save it in the database and then display it back into the front end. So how to integrate that back end with the front end. So that section you will learn, that component you will learn in the next part of the tutorial. See you in the next session. Thank you.